How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the R2O Sports Channel, where today I'll be going through my Premier League predictions for Game Week 19. These are our Boxing Day fixtures, which means we're halfway through the season. Generally, Boxing Day fixtures are pretty exciting, so I'm hoping for some good games this weekend. Last week, I did pretty good for my predictions. We only had 4 games, but I managed to get all 4 of the results correct, including 2 of my scores being spot on as well. So, very good week for me last week. So, let's hope I have another good week. And without further ado, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get right into the predictions. Our first game this game week is between Liverpool and Leeds. I'm not too sure if Leeds stand too much of a chance this game. Last time they played Liverpool, they conceded 30 shots. So not looking too good for them. Over their last 3 games, they've conceded 14 goals. So defensively, they haven't looked very good either. Their only goal scoring threat, Rafinha, it seems like the only way he's scoring is through penalties. He scored 3 penalties in the last 5 games. So they are struggling to put goals away, and they're just conceding a lot of goals. So I honestly don't see them standing too much of a chance, especially because Virgil van Dijk is supposed to be back for this game. He's a huge defensive asset for Liverpool, so I'm definitely expecting him to have a big game. An issue with Liverpool, though, Andrew Robertson is suspended for this game, picked up a red card last week. Did have a very good game despite that red card, though, which means Simikas, I believe is his name. He's coming back into the left back spot. He had a pretty good start to the season, so I'm expecting Liverpool to get another clean sheet. Overall, for Liverpool's offense, though, this is Salah's last easy game before the Africa Cup of Nations. So he has 2 more games after this one until he's going to be gone for 2 weeks. So I'm expecting Salah to have a massive week before he goes out to leave for Egypt. So overall, Liverpool very dominant this game. I have them winning this game 3-0. Our next game this week is between Wolves and Watford. I'm not looking forward too much to this game. I think this one's going to be a little bit of a boring one. Watford have lost 4 straight games, but they haven't played a game in 2 weeks either. So maybe they can pick it up. I'm not too sure if they will. A lot of players that could potentially be missing. Emmanuel Dennis might leave eventually for Nigeria for their national team for Africa Cup of Nations as well. So they might be without their biggest goal threat and assist threat going into the next couple of games. So I am very worried if I'm a Watford fan. I think because of Wolves, though, I think this game's going to be pretty boring. I believe 15 or 16 of their games have resulted in 2 games or less scored in the game. So definitely expect a low scoring game in this. They've only scored 2 goals in the last 6 games. So very low scoring. They did have a very good result against Chelsea with a 0-0 draw, which I did get correct last week, but I'm not too sure about them. They are a very good defensive team, but they have a tough schedule coming up. Kilman, Saiz, I think those are 2 pretty good players that you could potentially bring into your fantasy team. Overall, I think Wolves, they will be the better side in this, but I could definitely see it going as a draw because Watford haven't had a game in 2 weeks. So I'm going to say this is going to end in a draw and finish 1-1. Our next game this week is between Tottenham and Crystal Palace. For Tottenham, they haven't lost a game in the Premier League since Conte has joined them. Although they have had 3 games suspended or canceled, I think Conte's definitely done a very good job there. Harry Kane last game finally scored another goal. He's only scored 2 goals this season, which is very disappointing considering the type of caliber of player he is. I think he definitely could pick it up in this game, but I'm hoping he doesn't. So we'll see what goes on there. For Crystal Palace, though, they did play Spurs earlier this year when Nuno Espirito Santo was the coach of Spurs, and they ended up losing 3-0. So Crystal Palace, very good result last time against Spurs. I think that definitely could repeat again. Joachim Anderson is back at center back for them, so they get their best defender back this week. Jordan Ayew is leaving the Africa Cup of Nations on the 22nd, so that is the day I am recording this. So he's been playing pretty good the last few games, but he will miss the next 5 games or so. So very interesting there. I think it's definitely a better thing for Crystal Palace that he is leaving. It gives more room for Michael Olise, Barry Eze to come in on that right wing spot. So those players definitely better at crossing, maybe get Benteke back into scoring goals. So we'll definitely see how Crystal Palace does in this game. Overall, I'm having trouble going against Crystal Palace just because I think this is a game where they can definitely blow Spurs out of the water. Spurs, some games they just don't look very good, and I think this is a game they won't look very good. I have Crystal Palace win this game 2-1. Our next game is between Manchester City and Leicester City, 2 of the city teams playing against each other. So definitely interesting there. These teams are both pretty good. Leicester City, a bit of an off year so far, but I think they're looking to definitely pick things up. Um, I think the question for them is whether Vardy will get back to scoring or not. He did score 2 goals in the EFL Cup against Liverpool, so definitely a strong result there. But I think Leicester City will get off to a very sluggish start against this Manchester City team. Man City hasn't played a game in a week, and Leicester City just put out their best team against Liverpool B team. So um, Man City won 8 straight Premier League games. So I think Man City will come into this game pretty dominant. Raheem Sterling has a goal contribution in his last 4 starts. So I think he's definitely going to have a big game in this. Cancelo, probably the best outside back in the league right now. He's looking absolutely fantastic. So many goal contributions, defending like crazy. So I think he's definitely been Manchester City, one of his, if not the best player for Manchester City. So I think Manchester City, they will keep a clean sheet and win this game 2-0. Our fifth game this week is between West Ham United and Southampton. Very interesting thing about this game. A lot of time, the winner ends up scoring 3 goals. That more recently being West Ham. Southampton hasn't beaten West Ham since 2017, and they've gone 6 straight games without a win or a clean sheet. So I'm not too hopeful in Southampton win this game. Although West Ham aren't in the greatest of form, they have 1 win in their last 7 games. So I think they definitely need a win to compete with the top. I think they definitely want to finish top 5, top 6, so they can get a European place this year. Um, West Ham, I think an issue is scoring goals for them. Mikel Antonio has 0 goals in the last 2 months for West Ham in the Premier League. So I think they definitely need to get him more involved in the game. I think West Ham, I think they will fight their way back. They don't want to drop below Manchester United or Tottenham on overall points. So I think they'll have a very dominant game, do a classic, what they've been doing in Southampton all these years, win this game 3-1. Next game we have is between Burnley and Everton. And if you thought the Wolves Watford game was going to be ugly, I have bad news for you. This game is probably going to be even uglier than that. Overall, Burnley, Everton, both teams aren't looking that good right now. Burnley has 1 win this season overall, but they have had 2 weeks off, so that rest time is always helpful. So we'll see what they end up doing with that, though. They are one of the worst goal scoring sides in the league, averaging less than 1 goal a game. So I think they might struggle to get a goal in this game. For Everton, though, the team is an absolute mess, but their youth performed pretty well against Chelsea. Despite them potentially losing like 8-0 that game, somehow they end up getting a 1-1 draw against Chelsea. So very good result for them. They are sitting in 14th after a very good start. So not where they're looking to be. Maybe it's time to get rid of their manager. Who knows? But I just can't see this game going for either side. Very ugly game. I'm going to have it finished 0-0. Our last game in the morning time slots is between Norwich City and Arsenal. Norwich City, last time they played Arsenal this season, ended 1-0, but it definitely should have been worse. Arsenal definitely should have had more goals. They only have 8 goals this season, which is less than a goal every other game. So I don't know where they're going to get goals from this game. Overall, their attack has been absolutely terrible. They did look decent against Manchester United. I think it was a week or two ago. So we'll see if they can bounce back and get in some form like that, but actually put away some chances this game. Arsenal's defense this season has been very good this year. Overall, all their defensive look great. Gabriel, Tierney, Tomiyasu, even though Tomiyasu might not play this game because he did have an injury in the last game. So we'll see who comes out for them. Arsenal have been scoring a lot more goals since they announced Aubameyang won't be playing for the club anymore, essentially. So definitely looking forward to a strong Arsenal result. Martinelli's in really good form, which I think is a part of their big goal scoring. He seems to be involved in a lot of goals for them. So overall, I think Arsenal very dominant in this game. I don't think that Norwich stands a chance in this. So I'm going to say Arsenal wins this game 4-0. Our next game of our Boxing Day schedule is between Aston Villa and Chelsea. So I think this is definitely a very interesting game to look into. This is definitely a game that I'm going to watch. Aston Villa, I think it's a question or not whether Ollie Watkins can score against the struggling Chelsea side. Chelsea's defense have been very poor over the last few games or so. So I think it's definitely possible he can score. It's been a great asset for them this year since Danny Ings got injured early in the year. And he's just been scoring a lot recently. So I think he's definitely a big part of their attack and can definitely get a goal against them. Overall, Aston Villa's been very good under Gerrard, winning a lot of games, only losing games that they're supposed to lose to, lost against, I believe, Liverpool and Man City. I believe those are their only two losses under Gerrard. So he's doing a fantastic job there. And I think he'll continue to do that into this game. Chelsea, they did play earlier this year against Aston Villa, and they were very lucky to win 3-0. And this was under Dean Smith. So I think this game could go a lot of different ways. Overall, I think they were very lucky to win that game 3-0 because Villa were definitely the better side in that team, which I think has been the case a lot of this year for Chelsea. They haven't looked like the better side at all, but have just been getting lucky with results. They haven't lost a game in the Premier League in a while. Mostly because they're getting lucky penalties from Jorginho, or as many people like to call him, Poor Gino. So they'll probably end up somehow getting a penalty in this game. But I really like Aston Villa's chances in this game, especially at home. So I'm actually going to give Aston Villa the win and say they're going to win 2-1. Our final game of Boxing is between Brighton and Brentford. Very strange that this was given a primetime game, especially because both teams aren't doing too well on the table. They both are on 20 points, though, so it should be a fairly interesting matchup, especially because both teams, they do play pretty good possession and do get a lot of shots on target. So we'll see the final score of this game. For Brentford, they are in better form over the last couple of weeks, but I think an interesting thing to look at is that their manager, Thomas Frank, never won against Graham Potter. 0-4 against him. Graham Potter has all the wins in this matchup. So I think Graham Potter definitely has that edge over him, but we'll see if he gets some kind of result out of this. For Brighton, though, I keep trying to predict them a win over the last 4 weeks. I think I've had them winning because they're playing, I believe none of the sides they played have been in the top six teams over the last 6 games. So I think a win is inevitable, but it just doesn't seem like it. So I just don't know what to predict against them. They have 0 wins in the last 3 months after that fantastic start. So I'm just, I don't know what to do for this game. So I'm just going to sit on the fence and say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Even though Boxing Day is over, we still have one more game. This game's between Newcastle United and Manchester United. Pretty interesting game here. I'm definitely expecting Manchester United to have the better of the two games here. Newcastle has conceded the most goals of the season of any team, conceding, I believe, 2.5 goals a game. So very bad record overall for them. But it is a very general Eddie Howe stat. He as a manager, just it always seems like his teams concede a lot of goals. So Newcastle is definitely in for an interesting season. We'll see if they end up staying up and spending the millions of dollars they got from their new owners. Their last 3 games they've all lost by at least 3 goals, 2 of them being by 4. So I don't know what to say about them. They concede a lot of goals. We'll see if Manchester United can capitalize on that. They haven't been scoring a lot of goals recently, but since their manager changed, they haven't lost a game in the Premier League. So I think they definitely have a very good shot in this game. I think overall for Manchester United, the most disappointing player this year is Bruno Fernandes. His one goal contribution in his last 5 games. So I just don't know what to say about him. He's just having kind of a tough season after his terrific start to the year. So we'll see if he can change things around. I think this team is definitely more shifted into Ronaldo's team again, though. He's scoring a lot. I think he's getting all the goal contributions for them right now. And Manchester United have a very favorable schedule coming up. So look to bring in Manchester United defenders or Ronaldo in. So I think those are definitely some key assets to have for your fantasy team. For Manchester United, Ronaldo scores, it seems like every single time against Newcastle. I think he's going to score at least 2 goals in this game, and Manchester United will win this game 3-0. Those have been my Premier League predictions for the Boxing Day fixtures of Match Week 19. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below any players you like for this week or the upcoming weeks. Or if you have any predictions that are completely different from mine, feel free to leave them down below. As always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.